it all behind you. I said, take down everything that stands in your way. Don't stop believing it'll work out again, my friend. Stand out and be a part of everything good. Wake up, you're gonna be all that you should. Try out all the things you always wanted to be. You'll see, 'cause I know what I know, that you've got it in you, and I see that you are a winner.
This is just a short follow-up to the video I did yesterday, Black Lives Matter 2, ? Concerning the shootings in Dallas, Texas of the 5 police officers who were shot by a sniper, possibly in retaliation for or revenge of the murdered black men that were recently killed. One of them for laying on the ground and twitching his hand, and the other one was killed fatally for reaching for his ID that the cop asked him for. I don't condone violence. I don't think that shooting 5 random police officers to death is a good thing. As I tried to say in my last video that I did yesterday, Black Lives Matter 2, there's a lot of good cops out there. But it's like, I suspect, or I feel that there's a fear thing going on, that the good cops that do see these murders for what they aren't speaking out because of peer pressure. They don't want to rock the boat. What exactly is controlling the police force that the good police in the police force don't speak out, that don't rock the boat, that don't oppose what they see happening? I mean, it affects them in a negative way. They're out there risking their lives every day to try to help and protect other people, and they're being seen in this negative way because of the bad apples among them, and yet they don't speak out. If I were in their situation, I would feel a great deal of resentment. Like, hey, what the fuck? This is not what being a cop is supposed to be. You're not, you know, you're not emulating what I think protect and serve is supposed to stand for. If I were a good cop, I'd be pissed off at these bad cops and what they're doing, how they're tainting the image of the police. The other day I had a person on my bus who was drunk and I think a little bit off his medication, and he was very vulgar on the bus. He was insulting other passengers, he was insulting me, he was swearing every other word, and finally I told him, if you're gonna not keep talking this way, I need you to get off my bus. And then he threatened me. He said, no, I'm not getting off this bus. I'm just going to sit here and wait until all the other passengers are off the bus and it's just you and me. So I pulled the bus over and I told him to get off the bus, and he didn't get off the bus. So I called the coordinator and they called the police, and we waited and waited and waited, and other passengers were held hostage on the bus because they couldn't get home because I refused to drive this passenger because of his threat. I didn't want to be stuck alone at the end of my run with this person still on my bus after what he just said. So finally the police show up. And they get him off the bus. The guy puts him up against the wall. Or tries to. The moment he touches him, the guy goes nuts. Don't touch me! Da-da-da-da-da! And he had headphones on his head, and he ripped him off and slammed him to the ground. Thwack! They hit the ground. It's like, you know, the headphones are toast at this point. And then he rips off his jacket, and I'm like, oh God, you know, because this is just classic from the movies. The guy's about to start fighting stuff, right? Then he rips off his shirt, and I'm like, I start to turn away because he's going now for his pants. Morbid fascination. I turn back. He's this little skinny guy, you know. He's not a big... Anyway, off go the pants. He's standing there buck naked. And he starts to go at the cop. And the cop, in a move so fast I can't even follow it, slams him face down to the ground. Horizontal position, bam, face down onto the cement so hard you could hear the thud when he hits. It's got to be painful. I'm sure he's got bruises after this. It's just a really ugly scenario. The cop's on top of him, another cop comes, the man is screaming about how he wants to kill himself. He really badly wants to kill himself, and screaming, just screaming, and nice of the cops to pull his pants back on, which, I thought they actually treated him pretty well, but he was white. Not quite sure how it would have gone down if he had been a black person. Could have been a completely different story. He could be dead right now if he had been a black person. But anyway, they pulled his pants up, they lifted him up, they put him in the car. Kind of a scary moment for me. Still a little nervous about driving that bus because I'm afraid I'm going to see him again. But anyway, the point is, it made me think, God, I don't want to... when I was younger, I wanted to be a cop in the worst way. I really did. The whole protect and serve thing. Serving the public, being a good person and helping others really had a lot of appeal to me. And watching this scenario go down, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did not pursue that line of work. That's what they deal with every single day. People that are just... I get them on my bus every now and then, and I can't wait till they're off my bus. That's what the cops have to deal with. It's not an easy job. And the people who do it, because they're doing it in the spirit of protecting and serving and helping others, have nothing but respect from me. Well, why don't they stand up? Why don't they speak out to the ones, against the ones who take human life like it's nothing, and treat it like it's nothing, and treat it like it's garbage? Human life. I'm sorry, a person cannot help what skin color they have when they're born. A person cannot choose who their parents are going to be or what race they want to be. You are born. It's a wonderful, amazing thing that you get to live it all, and who cares what color your skin is? Why is this even an issue in our society? So, I don't condone the violence, but I do kind of understand. When I was younger, I was in an abusive situation, and my brother was beating me up on a regular basis. I know what it was like to cringe in anticipation of the blow when I was walking past him down the hall. I knew what it was like to have this tension inside all the time, not knowing when he's going to smack me in the face. It's a horrible feeling to be conditioned to the point where you're just afraid that much. And one day, I had enough, and I smacked him in the face. It wasn't really a smack. I slapped him. I slapped him as hard as I could in the face, because that's what victims do. That's what the abused animal will do after it's been abused enough times. Kick a dog enough times, it's gonna bite. Hit somebody who's younger and smaller than you, eventually they're gonna get tough. And they're gonna fucking get sick of it, and they're gonna hit back. That's a normal animal response. It's funny because after I hit him across the face, he stopped beating on me. I guess a little taste of it back was enough to show him. But my brother didn't carry a gun. He didn't have the authority to shoot people dead that displeased him for whatever reason. People with this mentality, this bullying mentality, who are allowed to carry guns, and maybe they're part of the KKK or some other racist organization, or maybe their parents were, or maybe they grew up with that mentality that black people are less than white people, or black people should show respect to their superiors, or whatever. It's not the right attitude for somebody who's wearing a badge and is supposed to protect and serve all citizens equally in this country. No one group of people in this country should have fear just because of the color of their skin. No one group of people in this country deserve to be hurt more because of the color of their skin, or ridiculed, or maligned, or persecuted. Skin color is nothing. It has nothing to do with the person's value or what a person has to contribute. And it's all beautiful. I'm sorry, but this is a stupid analogy, but if I walked out into a field, a meadow filled with wildflowers of all different colors, that would be stunning, that would be gorgeous, I would be entranced. If that same field were just filled with white flowers, you know, you see those white flowers on the side of the road, those little green shrubs with the clusters of white, little tiny white blossoms all over. Imagine a whole field like that. Whatever. Now imagine the same field filled with all these colors of different varieties and textures and shapes. Gorgeous. Why would we want a planet where everybody's the same, think the same, feel the same, look the same? Why would we want that? Anyway, I'm sorry for the police that died in Texas, but I look at it as it's a natural response to abuse. Eventually the victims will strike back. They will start to fight back. They will stand up for themselves and they will say, enough. And the only way to stop police losing their lives is for the good cops to make a stand too.
I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule and hatred and contempt.
Share the same weather, winter or summer, May or September, the 4th of whenever, it's better together. Let's get together. Home is where